Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Star Wars Lads. Today, we're going to be doing our predictions for episodes 6 and 7 of The Bad Batch Season 3. This coming week is a double episode, our first double episode of the season after getting our triple episode premiere. And it's not the last double episode. They're doing a great job of staggering these big event episodes, hopefully. So, we have a lot to discuss and theorize about in this video because this one could prove to be a really big double episode week, maybe a turning point. If you watched our live, I mentioned that we've already been a third of the way through the season, having now finished episode 5. There are 15 episodes this season instead of 16. So we're a third of the way through the season. A lot of crazy stuff could happen here, and episodes 6 and 7 could be that turning point. Hopefully, we have a lot of interesting things coming. Make sure you like the video and you comment your thoughts, your predictions. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen in episodes 6 and 7. And of course, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. We do have Bad Batch coverage every week, predictions and speculation every single Monday, as well as our live reaction and reviews every single Wednesday evening. Make sure you join us for those. You can send in your questions and comments to us live. All right, so let's get into the actual predictions themselves. Sanak, I'm going to pass it over to you. We've had the Bad Batch now kind of reunited in a sense. Crosshair, the rest of the Bad Batch have learned to work with him again. He's got his old armor back, and he's wearing it again proudly. Still got a little bit of the shake in his aim, not as precise as he was. But in general, they seem to be back together as one family. Echo even rejoined the team in this last episode. Now, when we move into episodes 6 and 7, it seems like, okay, that was a big check mark to get off the list. Where do you think we're going in 6 and 7 if it really does turn the tide and shift the direction of where the narrative has been going for the first 5 episodes?
Well, I think it is a little more difficult to really pin down here. I want to say this was going to be like a massive season changing episode. And we've gotten a lot of teases of really cool scenes in the trailers. So could this be the one that we see Asajj in? I think there's a possibility. I think that would be something that could be its own unique story without having to tie into the overarching clone story, Clone Rebellion, Captain Rex, Hemlock, and Tantiss all kind of coming together. I just think it's a little too early. I think that's something that makes sense more in the next double episodes or even like a longer arc with weekly drops. So what I think could be the focus for this episode, I would want to say it's the one where we get this turbo tank mission. I think this is a great place to add Fee. You know, they've had Pabu as their home location in this episode. It seems only natural that they could go back and do something that might be a Fee mission, might be something that Fee's intel connects with what Rex is possibly decrypting and finding from Nalase's datapad. I think whatever happens, it's going to result in some sort of assault on some Imperial installation. And I think this could become the episode that like a lot of people talk about, these two episodes of the Bad Batch past the premiere, because I think this is where we're going to see a lot of our clones that we've been really wanting to see. Like, yes, we'll get the turbo tank firing off all its missiles. We'll get Fee with her ship, but I think there's a genuine possibility of seeing the CX clone again, the clone assassins, and whatever unit that they're in charge of. I mean, it's kind of hinted in the premiere, right? You know, being supervisors of all the incarcerated clones. I think that would be a good way to open up a little bit more about what's going on with Crosshair, because he has obviously some PTSD, but it's not simply because of Mayday and the things in season 2 that this episode really wrapped up pretty nicely, this past episode. But I think we can see maybe the presence of that CX clone as a responding unit to what looks like a very A-Team esque, big and loud Bad Batch episode, and at least the first one. And I think that could definitely continue this character development, this progression that we've been getting out of the Bad Batch and who they are, not just as a unit but as individuals. So I would really like to see that. I'd also like to see Wolf. I think at some point, even if he isn't too important to this show, he is so crucial to that Rebels trio of clones with Gregor with Rex, and obviously him being a little bit more of the traumatized, broken man, the one who almost submits super easily to the Empire. So I would be very interested if this assault is in some ways a way to get Wolf out. Maybe they've identified him as something that, who is in charge or can get them towards their information for Tantiss, for Wayland, or perhaps he's someone that while they're on this mission, they're like, this is an incredible asset. This is Wolf, right? Like Rex and him could do so much together. What he knows about the Outer Rims and all that, right? Regardless of the reason, I'd like to see him be there. I think it's a right time for him to appear. I would maybe consider a Cody appearance, but I think Cody can kind of be held off. It doesn't even necessarily have to show up in the Bad Batch again. I like the idea of Cody having a lot more of a story to go ahead instead of just being resolved here. But Wolf needs that bridge from the Clone Wars to Rebels, and I think him, CX, Bad Batch, Rex, Fee, that will be explosive. That will be insane. I think that will be that sixth episode, which will then lead into that seventh episode of that scene that we got from Pabu where the Empire is invading. I don't think after all those fireworks, all those explosions, that the Bad Batch can get away with that. I definitely see some retaliation. I really would like to see what that really means for Pabu. If it means that people are just going to be left behind and the Bad Batch just has to run away, or maybe they have some contingency plans to defend themselves a little bit better, or perhaps this is a way for the Bad Batch to then be more closely aligned with Rex's clone rebellion, maybe be forced to partner up and go about their missions, go around their living conditions, see what's different about what Rex and Echo have been doing this past season or so compared to what the Bad Batch has been only occasionally pulled into. And I think that would be a good place to then segue us back into the single episodes where it's mission of the week and whatnot. But either way, I think you have to put all these big names, all these big faces have to show up, established in Bad Batch, established in the Clone Wars, because you need to really capture that this is the Bad Batch reunited, the A Team, close to 100%. What are they going to do? Bam, these two episodes.
Yeah, I think these episodes are going to skew towards more of the continuing build up of the team dynamic. And then we don't really see the team in action in this last episode, in episode 5. We just see Hunter and Crosshair back together, which is the main part. Wrecker in this last episode says, "Oh, if Omega trusts Crosshair, that's good enough for me." So everybody else is kind of on board. Echo has always been kind of the outcast. He knows that it's always Hunter versus Crosshair. That's been the dynamic since they were together, and now it is continuing. And so now that Crosshair and Hunter are a bit more back on the same page, I think we're going to see that continue. In my opinion, I think it does lead to a mission. Could be the turbo tank one, could be another mission. It leads to something where they need more information to find Tantiss. I think that information to find Tantiss, that whole plot point about trying to find Tantiss, is going to be kind of the consistent one that carries through the entire season. It's the one that will make each episode at least feel like, even if it is a side mission, feel like you're inching slightly closer to them finally arriving on Tantiss throughout the entire thing. So I think they're going to end up having some type of mission that gets them a little bit closer. Will that involve Rex and the rest of the clones that we see from the trailer, like Wolf? I hope so. I really do. I'm not 100% sure that's going to be the direction we go, but I think it would be interesting if something the Bad Batch, they've been lying pretty low. If there's something they get involved with, similar to how they get involved at the end of season 2 and that causes them to lose tech and then have Omega get captured, if they finally get back involved in the conflict and then that forces them to eventually lose Pabu because now the Empire's after them and not just Omega and Crosshair, like they don't know they've reunited as a team, it's going to put a lot of people in the proverbial crosshairs of the Empire's forces. I don't know if we see Pabu lost in this episode or this week. I feel like that would be more for the next double. episode where it's like the turning point, maybe the point where it just snaps the Bad Batch into, okay, this might not have been our fight, but now it really is. They've destroyed our home. They've killed one of our brothers. They're after us. It's not just a rag problem anymore. It is ours, and we have to deal with it. We have to be the ones who take them down. I think that's maybe the episode, I think it's 11 and 12 double episode. Maybe that's the conflict there. As of now, I think this will be something that kickstarts that aggressive Imperial search for them. It'll be some type of mission that really pushes that, ending with, of course, Hemlock being forced to hire bounty hunters due to most likely the incompetence of his TK troopers. And then hopefully we see the CX clones, because I would like to see them in action again. More Republic commandos, please. Delta Squad making more appearances. Stuff like that would be really cool. But you would assume the only reason he turns to bounty hunters is because the Empire couldn't get it done. So if we see that in this episode, maybe the 7th episode will be the first time we actually get to see one of the bounty hunters after him. I would love to see that similar dynamic between Finnick and Cad Bane that we saw in season 1, where it's kind of like a bounty hunter war where everybody's going after Omega and fighting each other for the bounty. I would love to see that continue as well. I think there's something in these episodes will be big. It'll be something the internet wants to talk about. It'll be a character appearance that everybody wants to hype up. For me, I think that could be Rex and or a Cad Bane or a Finnick, maybe somebody else who's hidden that we haven't seen. But overall, I don't think, especially with the way the season is structured, with the multiple weeks of double episodes, and then, of course, what we assume to be a 45-minute or hour-long finale for episode 15, I don't know if this will be some explosive new start, but I think it will push us in that direction to where it'll be the first big exciting reveals of the season. It'll be the first big talking points for online and social media to get people to finally start watching this show again. And it will propel us towards an even more exciting, bigger, grander start to the 3rd act, which will be episodes 11 and 12 as we inch our way closer to episode 15. That would be what I would predict, but let us know what you predict for The Bad Batch Season 3, Episodes 6 and 7, the beginning of the second third of this show. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, like the video. It really helps us out with the algorithm. Help us get to 35 likes on this video. Comment below, again, as I said earlier, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for a continued great Bad Batch coverage. You can check out all the other facets of our channel, including a Patreon and YouTube membership tier. For as little as $1 a month, you can get some great extra Star Wars Lads bonus content. Your contributions are greatly appreciated, as always, for our channel. Make sure you're staying tuned for the rest of the videos coming out. We have some great stuff coming out for you, as well as shorts and community polls every single day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you all next time.